Hi all, it's your boy Joe here from Lights Out Ghost Stories. Earlier today I made a bit of a cryptic post on Facebook in which I showed myself in a hospital room with a blood pressure machine next to me. Rest assured I'm fine. Thank you to all who reached out to me. It was very cryptic and very attention-seeking. What I wanted to bring your attention to was the process of becoming a bone marrow donor. Now, several months ago, the Association for Bone Marrow Donation got in contact with me and mentioned to me that I was flagged as a potential match for someone who needed a bone marrow transplant. Now, I had given a sample of my blood many years ago. I would say 2014, 2015. And they got back to me and said I was a current match for someone in need of a bone marrow transplant. The short of it is I went through several screening tests and they identified me as a primary donor. And this coming Tuesday, I'll be going in to provide stem cells so that someone could recover from whatever illness that they have, most likely color cancer. In speaking to a lot of my family and my friends, I realized that a lot of people didn't have any idea what a bone marrow donation was and the process that was involved. Most of them thought that it involved general anesthetic and a lengthy surgery. However, in the process of getting to know the procedure I was going through, I found out that it was so much different to what I had been told. Now, I decided to make this video to shed a bit of awareness on the process of becoming a bone marrow donor and to, kind of document a little bit of my experiences along the way, from receiving the injections to increase stem cells in my body to the process of donating stem cells / bone marrow. Now, compared to the technology that was maybe there years ago, the process is surprisingly simple. What they'll be doing is they'll be hooking me up to like a dialysis machine. My blood will be going out of one hand, going to a machine where the stem cells will be collected, and my blood would basically be pumped back via the other hand. I'll be lying down on a bed for 2 to 6 hours, just providing that stem cells that way. This is the first day of my injections, and one of the things that is involved in donating stem cells / bone marrow is that you have to go through about 4 days of injections. Now, the only side effects I'm told from the injections are, kind of like bone aches and maybe cold and flu symptoms, a little bit of fatigue. I took mine first this morning. I was pretty scared. I don't like needles, guys. I know I'm kind of tattooed up. I've got lots of tattoos, but I really don't like needles. And the nurse showed me how to self-administer. To be honest, it was painless. I shoved the needle in, pulled the syringe, and voila, it was done. So I have to do that 2 times a day for the next couple of days. It has the potential to really save a life. And as I was sitting there in the hospital room today, and I was going through the nurse was showing me what to do and how to administer the injections. A young woman came in with her mother, and she was no more than, should be in her early 20s, and it was just so sad to see her there, head shaved bald, looking tired and obviously very sick. And guys, it's just a process of contacting the relevant agencies in your country. You go in, they take blood samples from you and they chuck you on a register. And if you do come up as a match, then you're all good to go. Look, I'm going to share more information on the myths and the facts associated with bone marrow transplant and bone marrow donation, and in the next couple of days, also kind of detailing how I'm feeling as I'm going through the injections. In a while, I'm going to self-administer an injection. I'm not going to show you what I'm doing, but I'm going to grab the needle. I'll kind of do it just kind of below into my tummy, off camera, and I'll just show you how easy it is. Now I hope that this video or these subsequent videos will be enlightening for you and what the process is like and what it feels like as a person to go through as a donor to go through the process of preparing. I'll be honest with how I'm feeling, and look, I hope it inspires you to contact the agencies in your home country and put your name down as a donor. As I said before, it has, for so very little of your time and your effort, it could potentially save someone else's life. And why not? Why not? Now, look, I was given this bag, this cooler bag, in which the boxes of injections were in, right? So this is the injection, as you can see, a little injection, a little kind of swab, a lot of swabs that they give you in order to kind of rub the site where you kind of going to inject yourself, and hand sanitizer. Okay. So this is the first time and I'm administering myself at home without a nurse nearby. My daughter's off camera, look at me like I'm a really strange person, but I just want to show you just how simple it is, right? All I do, also the other thing I forgot, they give you this what's it called, like a syringe disposal kind of unit where you can kind of dispose of your syringes. Okay, very, very simple. Thanks, you can grab it down. All I do, and I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to show what I'm doing in camera, but I'll just go through the process with you, yeah? All I do is I first basically take the injection out of the pack. As you can see, just like that. The needle's about that long, and I've got to unscrew the cap. I push that all the way in, and when I push it in all the way to the very end, it basically triggers a trigger, and all it does is it pulls the needle out so that I don't even have to come take it out. It's quite simple. And dad hates needles, right? Okay. So I was told by the doctor, by the nurse, to kind of keep it in my hand so it warms up. This has to be refrigerated, by the way, guys. So it's in the fridge, yeah? Yeah, it has to be in the fridge. Yeah, it has to be in the fridge because it's like one of those medications where you just need to make sure that it keeps it cool. That's why it's in the cooler bag anyway. So what my daughter says is she doesn't understand how I was able to do it myself. And as I was telling everyone else, darling, when I went in this morning, when the nurse told me, hey, I'm going to sit here, you're going to do it yourself, I freaked out. I was like, what, do you want me to go and poke myself with a freaking needle? I'm going to get my dad to do it, he's a nurse, right? So, but I didn't, okay? So what I'm going to do now, and I'll just show you how simple it is. Like, they won't be able to see it, but you will be able to.
See if you're doing it properly, like carefully, because I'm boring.
You bring Papa.
Okay, just wait till I do here.
Okay, so guys, we have a trained medical professional off camera. He's just here to make sure I don't do something stupid, which I'm not going to, because trust me, I'm not a doctor. So basically, I do this, and I rub it on the side of the needle. My daughter's freaking out. Her freaking out is freaking me out, right?
Sorry, okay.
I take this out. All I do is I pull it out, and so I left the needle there. As you can see, for some reason, it's kind of
It's small.
It's a small needle, right? Yeah. So all I'm doing with this here, putting it here, is I am now just pushing it in all the way to the end, and I push. Take that.
Wow.
Done, guys. I didn't feel a thing.
You didn't?
I didn't feel a thing.
You didn't feel a thing?
I didn't feel a thing. I'll be honest with you. I'm done. I didn't feel a thing.
Okay, see you, Papa. I love you.
So guys, it's simple, okay? And then I take my little kind of wipey thing. I put it on there so that the medication doesn't kind of seep out of my fat rolls. It's not funny. All right. guys, that's the first injection I've kind of done online, and I'm probably going to be a little bit sore tomorrow and a little bit tired, but I'll check back with you guys and tell you how I'm feeling. But please follow me on this journey, and hopefully it inspires you to put your name down to be a bone marrow donor. On the day of the donation itself, I will hopefully be recording that as well, and you guys get to see and know it firsthand. Hi all, I'm back as promised. I'm just here to give a bit of an update as to how I'm feeling physically following the 5 injections I've had so far for the GCSF medication. That's what it's called. It's meant to increase the amount of stem cell production in my body, so that on the day of the donation itself I can go through a like a dialysis process where the stem cells are taken from my body and given to the donor. Now, the first day that I did the injection would have been on a Friday. It's Sunday right now, and on that day itself didn't really feel much other than a little bit of fatigue towards the end of the night. The next day is when I started feeling a little bit of bone aches. You know that the feeling that you get when you're coming in for a bit of a cold or a flu? That's what I felt. It was only towards the end of the night that the pain started increasing a little bit more. And look, I'll be really honest with you, 2 Panadols later, I was good to go. The next day, just today, I, funnily enough, didn't feel much bone aches. However, today I felt a little bit cold and fluey. I wouldn't say the bones were aching, but you know, you get that kind of stiff bodiness. That's what I felt. Other than that, I took 2 Panadol and felt okay. You know, I've been helping around the house, getting food, moving around, doing stuff, driving, so I wasn't bedbound or anything like that. I think the next time I'll be posting a video like this might either be tomorrow or the day of the donation itself. And on that last day, what I'll do is I'll flash up the bone marrow donation organizations in the 4 main countries of our lights up viewership, which would be Malaysia, Singapore, United States, and Australia. And then hopefully the entire process I've gone through to put this on social media would maybe lay to rest some of the fears and concerns that you might have about being a bone marrow donor, and perhaps inspire you to go out there and put your name down on the register. Guys, it's not been difficult at all, and what's a few days of your life if it means that you get to save the life of someone who really needs that donation. Guys, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon again. It's your boy Joe again from Lights Out Ghost Stories. Look, it's been 2 days since my bone marrow donation, and as you can see, I'm back to my usual self. I'm feeling great. Nothing really adverse to report. Now, I wanted to walk through the donation process with you, because it was a relatively, pain-free experience for me. So I arrived there that day in the morning, and I remember the nurse asking me, "How are you feeling, Joe?" And I says, "Oh, well, I'm feeling a little bit fluey." And she cackled and said, "That's exactly what we want to hear." So apparently, it's a really good sign, simply because it means that the injections are working. The injections are meant to stimulate stem cell growth in your bones. That gets released into your bloodstream, and your body kind of thinks that there's an infection, and so which is the reason why you get this kind of bone aches and cold and flu feelings as well. But other than that, I was ready and good to go for the entire process. Now, the rest of the day, I would have to say, was fairly smooth. They inserted cannulas in both of my forearms and took some blood samples. And once they determined that there were enough stem cells in my bloodstream, they hooked me up to the machine, and basically I just started the day. Now, I must admit that the hardest part of the entire process was actually boredom. I was bored out of my brains. I was lying there. I listened to podcasts, I watched a couple of movies, I even went to sleep. And after 2.5 hours, because my stem cell count was so high, they said that was great, you don't have to do it anymore. And I thought I was home free. However, they detected a bit of low phosphates levels in my bloodstream, and they said you got to stay for another 2.5 hours. Another 2 hours on the bed for a transfusion or an infusion, one of those things anyway. And cue the boredom. I was reading some interactions online between donors and recipients. And I remember reading a donor going, "Oh, you know what I just did was nothing," and he was corrected by the family member of the recipient saying that it was far from nothing. She reminded him that it was, that the donation gave a loved one more time to spend with his spouse, more time to spend with children, more time to spend with siblings, more years with the family, and so much more. So what I would like to say to anyone considering going for this bone marrow donation thing is that it might feel such a small act to you, but it can mean the world to someone else. It's a straightforward process. It has the power to positively impact someone's life. It has the power to give a life, and not just for the recipient, but for their families as well. And if you were to ask me, would I do it again? In a heartbeat. Now in Australia, the organization that made all of this possible for myself and for the recipient is called the Stem Cell Donors Australia. And you can find them at, let me check, www.stemcelldonors.org.au. Go in there. They'll have all the information that you need to start your journey. For the other 3 countries of which Lights Out actually kind of like streams quite well, be that Singapore, Malaysia, and the United States, you will find out the links and more information down in the show notes. So for those of you wanting to make that positive change in someone's life, seriously, what are you waiting for?